1975. A Kodak engineer sits alone in a laboratory in Rochester, New York. He has just built something the world has never seen. On the screen in front of him, a blurry, pixelated image. Rough, imperfect, but it was the first photograph ever taken without film. He picked it up, walked down the hall, and carried it straight into the boardroom. He placed it on the table in front of Kodak's most powerful executives. They looked at it. They understood exactly what it was. And then, they made the decision that would eventually kill the company. For most of human history, taking a photograph was an act of science. It required chemicals, glass plates, and hours of preparation. At their peak, Kodak employed over 145,000 people. Their factories in Rochester stretched for miles. 9 out of every 10 rolls of film sold in America were made by Kodak. They didn't just dominate the market, they were the market. Say cheese, 2 words that changed everything. Kodak put a camera in every hand and made photography as simple as pressing a button. Kodak didn't sell film. They sold memories, birthdays, weddings, first steps. Every moment worth keeping was kept on Kodak film. Their yellow boxes became part of the American home. By the 1970s, Kodak was one of the most valuable companies on earth. A giant so dominant, it seemed untouchable. Kodak wasn't just a business, it was a monopoly dressed as a beloved brand. Back in that boardroom, the device on the table, the executives staring at it. The question, what do we do with this? Their own engineer had just proven it was possible. A camera with no film, a photograph stored as data. The future was sitting right in front of them. They ran the numbers, and what they found terrified them. Film was not just a product. Film was the entire business model. Every camera Kodak sold was designed to keep you buying film forever. Outside those walls, 145,000 people were living their lives, paying their mortgages, raising their children, trusting that the men in that boardroom were making the right decision. Digital photography would not compete with film. It would make film completely unnecessary, and Kodak knew it. Film accounted for more than 2/3 of Kodak's total revenue, billions of dollars, tens of thousands of jobs. So they did what powerful institutions always do. They chose to protect what they had instead of building what was coming. They shelved it, buried the prototype in a storage room, the first digital camera in history, invented by Kodak, hidden by Kodak, gone for nearly a decade. But the world didn't wait for Kodak. Technology never does. While the prototype gathered dust, engineers across Japan and America got to work. Sony, Canon, Nikon. One by one, they picked up the technology Kodak had invented and began building the future Kodak had refused to enter. By the mid-1980s, digital imaging was no longer a laboratory secret. It was the conversation of an entire industry. Meanwhile, Kodak kept manufacturing film. Billions of rolls, year after year. The machines never stopped. Everything looked fine from the inside. Then came the 1990s. Digital cameras began appearing on store shelves, in the hands of ordinary people. For the first time, people could take a photograph and see it instantly. No film, no darkroom, no waiting. Memory cards replaced film rolls, hard drives replaced shoeboxes. Film sales began to fall. Slowly at first, then faster. The shelves that had once been packed with yellow canisters began to empty and stay empty. The layoffs began, first hundreds, then thousands. The floors that had once buzzed with 145,000 employees began to go dark. Kodak's stock price entered a freefall it would never recover from. While Kodak collapsed, a new world was rising, built by people who had never sold a single roll of film. The numbers told the story that the boardroom refused to. Kodak stock lost 90% of its value in less than a decade, a fortune evaporating in real time. Between 1988 and 2012, Kodak eliminated more than 130,000 jobs. Entire communities in Rochester built around Kodak paychecks were left hollowed out. The factories went quiet. Machines that had run 24 hours a day for decades stopped. Production lines were locked down, equipment sold for scrap. Buildings that had taken decades to fill were emptied in months. The campus that had once symbolized American industrial power began to shrink. Kodak did eventually launch digital cameras, but they arrived late, priced wrong, built by a company whose entire culture still believed in film. The market had already moved on. In January 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. 130 years after George Eastman founded the company, it was over. One by one, the smokestacks came down. What remained was silence, rust, weeds pushing through concrete floors, the bones of an empire left to the elements. But here is the part of the story that no one talks about. The company that killed Kodak was built on everything Kodak invented. The iPhone shipped with a digital camera. So did every smartphone that followed. Suddenly, 5 billion people were walking around with a camera in their pocket. Instagram, Snapchat. Every platform built on sharing what you see. An idea Kodak understood before anyone and then abandoned. The company that invented digital photography filed for bankruptcy in the same year that Instagram sold for $1 billion. Kodak didn't fail because they missed the future. They failed because they saw it clearly early and chose not to build it. That is the most expensive decision in the history of photography.